know what GFM is.
What is GFM?
It's something more I work.
Okay, because we're started.
Okay, I see GFM on there. Hello, everybody. I don't know what GFM is. Yeah, there was a person that was called the GFM where I worked, and
Welcome everyone to our regular Tuesday night stream. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel elsewhere on YouTube, and this is Buff Del Campo of obviously Buff Del Campo because you are here.
GoFundMe. I should have known that. And that, as soon as I was reading back to see what it was, it says GFM for Steve. And you know who Steve is?
Oh, Steve Maggs. He's having some pretty bad financial problems.
Their goal was $100,000, and they got 192. Wow. Well, he's selling his house, he's selling his cars, he's selling everything to try to pay his.
Well, the poor man was in the hospital for what, 6 months, a year?
Trying to pay his medical bills. Well, look at this, man. Lester LeSabre. Did you get the note from Lester? With some pain.
What? I don't know what you mean.
Oh, you read the email, and then I forwarded it to you, and it had like a supplement.
Oh, no, I never read it.
That helped with pain. Okay.
Thank you for sending offers of... I will read into it and hopefully can get some... I have some chronic pain conditions, so thank you for suggesting something that may work. I will look into it. I have to make sure that it doesn't conflict with any of the medications that I currently need to take, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I wonder how long that GoFundMe is going to be up, because when I get paid, Social Security, things are tight sometimes. When I get paid, I'll add some to that. I think that gold should be,
I mean, no one
where it is right now. I don't see any reason why we can't hit 500K.
No, I mean, no one can accuse the man of not working or something like that. Like, he got really sick. Now, the fact that he has to have a GoFundMe to cover his medical expenses when he's worked and employed, able-bodied, like, it seems like there's something wrong with the system that forces us to pay his medical bills. But whatever.
We'll do it.
I mean, as long as he's getting what he needs, but in general, like,
I'm sick of working.
Tell me about it.
That's how it happened to me. I retired, but retirement kind of sucks unless you happen to work. There's people that work and they got a retirement and they do real well, and there's other people that work just as hard, just as dedicated their whole life. They don't have a retirement. You can save money and everything else, but then along comes inflation and you're really not ahead. So it's kind of tough. Lester Sabre is your last name, reference to a car. Okay, I'm sick of working. Hi, Bruce Mexus. Ponomaniacs here. Who else? I'll get it out. Landon Custom Classics. Bruce, you were here way earlier. You were the first one here.
I feel like we're very big.
We are very big. Why are we so big?
Well, because we're not talking about anything right now except people.
So
we might as well.
We've got this Matador.
Because we're the
headlights.
center of attention.
See, this Matador I like because they pulled a big ugly bumper off of it and finished that off real nice. That just looks so good. Man, I'd love to have another Matador. Yeah, VAM Classic. And up here it's a Matador. It's a Matador.
What's a Matador? Are you?
I guess it's VOM. I don't know if it's VAM or VOM. And when Americans sees that, they're going to say VAM.
Is our sound good tonight, folks? We did not have much time to do the sound.
Oh, wait.
We did not have much time to do the sound or video.
Oh.
All right. Smartass. Because we were both busy. He put up a video, and I was outside. Careful bumping the other microphone.
I know.
I've been outside the last few hours, pressure washing transmissions. Man, undercoating. Okay, the one had undercoating stuck to it, which is miserable. It's hard to get off.
Trying to get undercoating off of the pressure washer.
You want to know what's harder to get off than undercoating?
What? Overcoating?
You know that stuff that they put in the back of like an orange box or the voltage regulators in a lot of cars? It's like some kind of like
Yeah,
epoxy
it's
resin stuff.
yeah, it's
And it
potted.
melts. It was dripped all down the transmission and it was stuck like damn. I had a scraper and the pressure washer, and of course, everything that comes off of the transmission immediately bounces onto me. So I've got like black all it, and it's probably still in my hair, but we do what we
KJ
can.
Kylie, hello.
Hi, Kylie.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I interrupted.
No, that's okay. We're greeting people because it is the beginning of the stream. So, welcome everyone as you come in. And I hope some people enjoyed the videos I made this week. I know they were a little bit just off the cuff, but I was trying to get some. Oh, and we just had a holiday weekend.
Memorial Day.
Do you say thank you for your service for people on Memorial Day, or is it only for people
Oh, you
who have
can. You can say it all year.
passed on? Okay. Well,
Yeah, but
I hope
yeah,
you all
and the people
enjoyed
that we've
and
lost.
respectfully enjoyed and reflected on if you're in the United States and that's a holiday that you celebrate, that you respectfully enjoyed your long holiday weekend and, got out there and did some work on your projects because that's what we do when we can. Or maybe yard work, cleaned up after the storms.
Pontomaniac said his second car was a 1960 LeSabre. Loved it too. See, I have a story about a 60 LeSabre because when
Okay.
I was a kid,
I'll bring up a picture of one.
you know
Go
how
ahead and tell the
kids,
story.
you know, yeah, get the back end, rear end, 60 LeSabre. The mirror on the instruments. I remember that. See if you can find the
I'll find one.
back, and yeah, okay, like that gray one right there.
All right. Well, I got to bring it up. Okay.
Okay, the gray one shows it real well. The one in the upper left-hand corner.
This one?
Yeah. And then, I don't know if you can zoom in on the taillight or not. There's a reflector in the center of the taillight.
I cannot zoom in.
Okay, well
There's no zooming.
they can see in that little dome-shaped taillight. There's a reflector right in the center. It has a little chrome thing around it. And you know, when you're kids, you do stupid things. And I had a 50-cent piece, and it looked like it was about the same diameter as that, and I stuck it in there, and it was about a 3 or 4 thousandths press fit, and it went in. Then I couldn't get it out. In this woman's car, there we were, me, a friend of mine, and we couldn't get it out. We struggled for quite a while. We finally got that coin out of there. In fact, Mexican Spec, I got a friend that I think he got a hold of you on Instagram or something, a guy named Rick. It was Rick and me when we were kids, and we stuffed that 50-cent piece into his mother's 60 Buick. I couldn't get it out. I thought I'd lost it forever. What are you doing? You're moving that
Move
to
this over.
You're
It's
moving
just
it
in the
to,
wrong place.
It's in the wrong place.
There. Now it can hear us
It's
both
the
of you
backwards microphone.
really well. I was trying to tell a story, and then you had a story about a saber.
Okay, so go ahead.
But I got another story about the storms, and they brought down they made some mess in our area. You're not following this story, are you?
Me?
You were
Yes.
there.
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. Well.
But I'm also reading because people are talking to me.
Oh, right. Yeah, you follow the chat. That's good. So I'll tell the story. You follow the chat. Thank you.
Remember about
so-
the Dash Speedo. Yep.
We were sleeping in, and I heard a knock, and I had heard, that backup along the beep, 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 and I'm like, what's going on? Well, a limb, we have trees, and one of the limbs fell down and knocked down a wire so that it was hanging low across our road way out there a little bit, and the truck couldn't go forward, so they tried to back up, and they backed into our front yard, and they got stuck.
It was a new Ford.
This is really it was a clown show. Now, I gotta say, the woman who was driving the truck, she was a young woman, she was very alert, and she was doing everything she could. She had already called her manager to get somebody to tow her out, but she figured, well, while she was here, she she said, I'm really sorry. I've got my truck stuck on your property here. And I said, well, I'll come out and look. I'll help. And she was like, well, I'm sorry, because she made a rut, right?
A
A rut, like
She dug a trench.
it wasn't really that big of a deal, right? But she was trying to turn around and go back the other way because she couldn't go
It was a
through
Ford
the wire.
Transit, a big old Transit.
But should we say whose truck it was?
It was a rental truck.
It was a rental truck.
Well, so we go out there, and Kim's trying to help her, and her tires, of course, it's a one-wheel spin, and the tires are. This is a rental truck, just baloney skins. There is no tread. No tread on these tires.
None. Like you could see, they were so thin, like just smooth. Both of the front tires were new, and I mean, I'm sure they're.
Well, he says it hurt woman driver. That made sense. Kim's not gonna like that.
So
no, I'm surprised she saw the wire down because it's raining hard. It is nasty. Couldn't see well.
She was on the ball, and she was trying to back out of the situation. It's a narrow road.
Yeah, it's like one lane wide, and she tried to turn around and got her back wheels on our grass, which would normally you just drive on the grass.
And it slopes down away from the road a lot steeper than you would guess. But it had rained so much that it was just soup. She just backed into soup.
Wrapped toilet paper around tires. Yeah, Kim got it out. Kim got her skid steer.
I got my skid steer and gave her a tug and pulled her back. And I told her, we'll cut your wheel and we'll get you going sideways instead of down the hill. And that's when I realized how bald the tires on that truck, like irresponsibly bald. Like that rental company should be slapped for letting anybody drive a commercial vehicle, with tires that bald. So, I mean, there's a limit. You know what I mean? Wrap toilet paper. Okay.
Well, you know what Kim did? She went up to the shop and she got a bucket and a shovel and she filled the bucket with a bunch of sloppy...
I scratched a little bit of gravel up off
sloppy, wet gravel, and she came down and took her hand and wiped it all over the tire.
Rubbed it on the tires
and put her on the
tossed
ground.
it underneath the tires. And then we pulled her back just a little bit and put it under, so there was some under the tires. And I said, just keep going. Once you start moving, don't stop. And she spun, and I said, well, keep going. And I just was throwing gravel under there, and the tire caught, and she started moving, because it was pretty level at that point. So, anyways, we got her out. We got the Amazon. I think it was Amazon. I didn't even see. She had a package.
It was Amazon.
It was Amazon in a rental truck.
It was in a rental truck. It wasn't Amazon's truck.
Yeah, it wasn't Amazon's fault that the truck was so bad, but man,
that thing, the tires were
so that was
tread.
That was an adventure for that day, as we rescued the Amazon lady, and she was glad. And I was like, don't you dare let them blame this on you, because
they're going to tell you they rent trucks, not tires. Yeah, no kidding.
Rent trucks and not tires. Well, they definitely didn't give them tires.
Should have gone out there.
That was a delivery truck. It should have heavy range tires, and they can't be that bald and still be up to standard.
Oh, it's 94 there. What is it here? It wasn't.
I don't know, but I'm sweating.
Yeah, because we turned
Dougster, welcome to the stream.
He came in.
Dougster Wolverine Garage. I was telling a story.
While you're telling a story, he came in.
Telling a story.
Oops, that's not what I want to do. I pushed the wrong button. Can you imagine me pushing the wrong button? It is 77 degrees Fahrenheit. 60 gray, kind of cold here in Michigan. Yeah, Michigan's one of those places. Yeah, 77. It's been warm here. Did she leave you an Amazon package? No. You know what?
No,
she had a package and she was trying to deliver it. She had to go around the corner. She wasn't even on the right street. But if she'd gone down the street, just past where the wire was, and made a right turn, she would have been there. But there's a wire from a pole down across our yard and up to our house, and it was something that didn't have power to it. So I went out
cable,
there.
and we don't use cable. We have fiber, so it's just like a legacy wire hanging there. But
something I didn't know what it was at first.
When the utility company came out to check it, they just lopped it off and threw it in the yard because we had tornadoes up out this way. So they were very bothered to come out here.
I was sitting around at work watching Kim play with a Spitfire.
Yeah, the Spitfire went really well. I did not think I was going to take that carburetor apart and find that there was nothing wrong with it. I thought, because that car has been put up for a long time. They bought it as a parts car for a much nicer car, and it was rotted out and repainted with like house paint, that blue, and yeah, there's just like holes all through it. And
I didn't know how bad the trunk was till you opened it.
they told me, there's
no trunk floor.
The clutch hydraulics are out. It doesn't have any brakes. He said, but it did run before we parked it, but that's been like 12. He was like trying to figure out the math. He was like, I think it's about 12 years, but I might have turned it over a little bit in the last like 5 or 7. And like I reached under there. It's just a single carb.
SU, what are
SU carbs? Solix.
Solix. It said, I don't remember. You read it on the.
I don't know. I never
video.
dealt with anything like it. It was pretty simple though. It kind of looked like a motorcycle carburetor.
I use the same auxiliary
Yeah.
tank. Yeah.
Did you see the
We
image
all
of
have
that
at least
tank?
we all have at least one of those, but they're usually newer than that one.
So
Yeah, that one we could probably clean it
that
out.
wasn't my Skinner's Union. Huh. There was no model number on that carburetor. It was kind of odd to me that it wasn't stamped with any kind of, or maybe it used to have a tag and someone took it off. But the diaphragm in the top, it was nice and pliable. I took it apart and it just came apart.
Yeah, which way does it ground?
Positive ground system?
I don't know which way it grounds.
I haven't looked. The wires are disconnected, so
Better be careful with that.
I'll have to.
It's
I'll
a
have to take
71.
look.
It's a 71. Somebody could look that up, or I could look it up before we go hook it up backwards.
I'll
Ice man.
I'll hook it up. Negative ground and spin the starter backwards.
Will it start backwards? Did they have that in the 80s? Did they have that in the 80s?
It won't start backwards.
Yeah, this one's a 71, so who knows? I remember they had positive ground 6-volt cars up into the late 60s, and they went around on the American cars. They were pretty much gone. In
I
56.
assumed 71 that it was that they had
56.
gone everything. Like when did they have positive ground after the 6-volt battery systems?
I don't know.
I thought they switched with this when they went to 12-volt systems.
British could have done anything. I don't know.
That's fair.
American cars were well, I was messing with Ford, so they were 6-volt positive ground until 1955, and in 56 and later they were all 12-volt negative ground.
See,
It's
all
British, so it
those
does-
cars where I grew up in Pittsburgh, it's the Salt Belt, the Rust Belt. Where I grew up, all those cars were long gone, or somewhere in a museum or in a garage where you never saw them. So I never got to work on anything like that. Like the oldest car that I ever worked on when I was younger was my 72 Dart. And it's pretty standard. There's nothing super old about it. That's
Some British cars use 2 6-volt batteries to make 12-volt.
That's how
Okay.
you get 12 volts.
I guess.
Is it the same Triumph that makes
They went negative
the
around
motorcycles and the cars, or is it two different companies with the same name?
They went to negative ground in 67, he says.
Why am I so hot? Is it hot in here?
I don't know.
Sweaty? God, I'm like
63
roasting.
Spitfire.
Where's your license plates?
I put them away.
Crap.
Why? What are you doing?
I need something.
Why don't you go bump the air conditioner up? I think we turned it down because you know why. We're just sitting there running.
Okay.
We're running electricity when we
I'm
shouldn't.
roasting these.
And get something to drink. Mexican Spec says he's sweating up a storm.
You know what? It says it's 80 in here.
Well, that's why. Did you turn it down a couple of notches?
Yeah, I announced it.
Yeah,
Sorry for complaining, all.
air conditioning set at 80.
We got it. And then we got a lot of lights going on in here, so it gets warm. It got really warm in here suddenly. It's sweaty.
Lucas Electronics, the Prince of Darkness. It does have Lucas Electronics. I see Lucas written under there.
So I made some progress on it. It's cleaned out real good, put back together. I wanted to say, so I didn't finish that video, but I just threw it out there because I didn't have an ending. But
She
when I
does a
was
lot. She does a lot of videos, and I kid her out because she doesn't end them. They just abruptly stop. And I said, well, I guess I always want to come back and see more. So maybe
let's
that works.
hope, always leave them wanting more. Like why belabor it? You know what happened. I finished. I was done. But no, it really is hot here. It was 80 degrees and humid because just got a shower too.
Hey, wait a minute. Lucas Electronics is why the British drink warm beer. Wait a minute. I spent some time in the UK, and this whole thing with warm beer, I was expecting that, and there wasn't any. It was
They
cold.
Don't really drink warm beer?
It wasn't like ice cold, but I bet it was 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, I never had warm beer there. I mean, I didn't drink a lot, but if I went in a pub, a lot of times we were not driving, we were walking, so I could have a beer. And I drink a beer in a pub, and I never noticed it being warm. But the beer was like, I don't know if you ever had London Pride. That is a great beer. And sweating is good. It helps detoxify the body.
Yeah, right. Just what I want to do. It's like a sauna in here. Just sit here and sweat for an hour.
I'm seeing stuff pop up over there.
Oh, that's just my Facebook stuff.
Yeah, it's somebody.
I can't
It's
make
somebody
it
I
stop.
even know. Okay, so beer is good.
Oh,
isn't it?
so I was talking about the Spitfire, and so with the carburetor working. Oh, the float. I didn't get the part about the
You're
float.
going like crazy. Okay.
So I didn't do the part about the float because for some reason I just slapped together. I had to get it finished, get the screws in because we were recording for the video that he just put out. So I had to stop what I was doing, but I did finish it real quick. And the float, like the little ear that holds the, what's that little needle and seat valve called?
The needle and seat.
Okay. Well, the needle and seat, the float was not holding them shut at all. I don't think it was ever adjusted to work properly. So I don't think that they had ever run the car since it was rebuilt on the pump or fuel system that's with the car now.
Hello, Colleen, and I want to answer Mexican
Colleen.
Spec when you give
Go
me a
ahead.
chance. Okay, Buff, why did your friend message me? It's a guy named Rick. He pops in here occasionally. Rick is an old-time friend of mine. He loves social media, and he contacts people that are friends of people and people he thinks are interesting. So apparently he thought you were interesting. Mexican Spec, that sounds like something interesting. I told him that you have these cars for sale, and then I couldn't get him to reply, and then he comes back, he says, I talked to your friend Mexican Spec for 20 minutes. I figured he's driving you nuts. But, like, he knows airline pilots all from all over the world, and he knows friends of friends, and he loves social media. So I don't know. I guess that's why he contacted you. He's a nice guy. He's fine. He's just that's what he does. He's retired. He's probably a little bit bored. Rick takes care of the house, and his wife she retired, but now she works taking care of animals, like at an animal shelter. So it's still like she's working, but Rick takes care of the house, and that house is spotless clean. They have some cats, and that house never smells like cats. There's never cat hair. I mean, it's place is spotless. So that's what he does. But when he's not doing that, he's messing with social media.
He probably gets lonely.
That's what he does.
It's tough being a
That's
house
what he
husband,
does.
I guess.
That's what he does. I learned that when I was very young. My dad was not crazy. Crazy people can't fly. It seemed like it was longer, yeah. He said it was 20 minutes. I'm thinking, man, what'd you talk to Mexican Spec for 20 minutes? I wonder what he's talking about. So he probably gave him my whole life's history. What an idiot I am. He lived at the bottom of the hill. I lived at the top of the hill. We were like probably 13 years old, something like that. I had a bicycle and I made a parachute on the bicycle and I came down the hill going like crazy and let the parachute go. Of course, then I crashed because it stopped the bicycle immediately. And he always thought that was really funny. So he tells everybody that story, what an idiot I was. Well, I guess, the average 13-year-old that would make a parachute for their bicycle. Oh, man. So he probably told you stuff like that. He lives in Henderson, which I know very well. Yeah, they lived in California, and when she retired, they moved to Henderson. Kim, at what point do you decide to dump OEM stuff like a carburetor and move to something more mainstream? Oh, I'll tell you that answer. When she rebuilds the carburetor 3 or 4 times, it still doesn't work right. We just put a new carburetor on. That's what we did with Slant 6. That carburetor had something wrong with it.
I rebuilt that carburetor twice.
She
and
kept
then I was
messing
like,
with it.
son of a bitch. But
the parachute did not pull me off the bike because the parachute was attached to the bike. It pulled the bike out from under me is what it did.
Ow. Iceman, that is actually a really complicated answer, right? Because
yeah, BBD, and we replaced it with a Autolite 2-barrel. What's that thing called?
2250 or something like that. It's the 2-barrel Ford motorcraft style.
What's ELG mean? ELG.
Definitely, if there's some.
Engine light garage. Hello. Yeah, now I get it.
If there's some kind of performance improvement that's going to go with it, if it's affordable, you have a 2-barrel on your Slant 6. Well, the problem is, right, is the 1-barrel carburetors are generally considered they're not very good. Like, if you watched Dead Dodge Garage recently did an homage to the destruction of a Holly 1920 because it was a piece of garbage. But it lacks precision, right? It's just it's kind of all or nothing. It's loose.
Ponomaniac. Yes. Keep going. I wanted to answer that. Yes.
But
as many as we could put on there. We had V12s, man.
I gotta say, I don't like to spend money just for flash to say that I did. But when there's a clear distinction like this, the replacement carburetor that we have on the Slant 6 now works really good in comparison to any of the other carburetors that we've been trying to run on Slant 6s. So I definitely would consider doing that again. And it's as I experience things, as I talk to people. Some people just really love a Holley carburetor because they know it really well and they've got a giant kit of jets and all the parts and gaskets. They keep it all in hand and they want to put a Holley on everything. And by all means, put a Holley on everything at that point. Buy one, don't even mess with oddball stuff. But I'm not in that yet. I don't know.
I'm looking for a picture. I don't know if I'll find it. Oh, such tiny pictures. Okay, I gotta change this.
There's a lot of things to that though, right? A lot of people are like, oh, you need a 2-barrel carb. That makes a big difference. But and then they're like, I put a 2-barrel carb on and my car ran great then. It's like, yeah, but before you did that, did you check your manifold to see if the gasket for your manifold was leaking profusely? Because that's a really common problem on Slant 6s. So when you switch from the leaking 1-barrel carb to a 2-barrel intake that had a brand new gasket, the carburetor system seemed to fix the problem. But it didn't necessarily, it wasn't the carburetor, it was the fact that the gasket was leaking, maybe, right? So, service everything. And sometimes, if you can get a manifold, the Super 6 manifolds are getting harder to find and really stupid expensive here. It's dumb. It's just a manifold. They're not Yeah.
Can you?
Oh, bring that up. I forgot that it wasn't on our screen. Here's a picture of the
Why did you
two-barrel.
put the parachute on the bike? Because I was 13. Cards. Yeah, they used to put cards on the wheels to go on the spokes, but man, the balloon sounded so much better.
If you can find a good one of these aluminum two-barrel intake manifolds, the welds look atrocious on them, but every Aspen Volare sold with Super 6, they are a lot. Yeah, if you can find an aluminum one, it's lighter, and you can get an adapter to go from the Carter bolt pattern to the Holly bolt pattern and put one of these. I want to say it's a 4150, but that's a 4-barrel, so I think this is a 2250, 2150.
I don't know. It's a Chinese replica, is what it is.
But it
And
works
it works. It works flawlessly.
really
And
well.
there's an adapter, and the adapter, the holes, the holes that the two-barrel holes line up perfectly. The only reason it needs adapter is because the hold down bolts are in a different spot. So the adapter doesn't do anything funny to the. It's just basically a spacer. And man, does that work well? Okay, so now I haven't been. This is so far. I'm so far behind this.
Well, was that 600 Edelbrock? Was that one that Shane was talking about, Iceman, when you swap from a BBD? Because
13-year-olds think they're geniuses. Yeah, I should have designed airplanes and done all this stuff before I got so old and I forgot everything.
I should have done stuff when I knew everything. Now I don't know nothing. The older I get, the less I know. I'm waiting for Iceman to get back to me about that.
A lot of people here, and I'm just
Edelbrock.
completely. Aldrab says, "Sorry, I'm late. I'm smoking some brisket." Oh God, brisket! You know what I really like
Brisket.
is
Brisket.
corned beef brisket.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she doesn't like corned beef. I love it. It's so good. But brisket's good too. I had a roommate in Arizona, and he cooked brisket a lot. She's been building Edelbrock since she was 13. Wow.
Nice. There you go. Well, then a professionally rebuilt carburetor is probably going to work better than the factory carburetor that's full of junk and been sitting there for probably warped, overheated, leaking, bad throttle shaft bushings. There gets to be a point where you can't really easily service the repairs on an old carburetor, and so even a cheap replacement is a better choice, but a professionally built one by somebody who knows that model carburetor really well.
Riley is on YouTube. She's amazing. She's 18 now. That's great. Man,
1406 off eBay, Edelbrock. I'm glad you're getting good performance out of it. It's a bigger carburetor. I think it has more.
What is it? Ari may be looking for. I'm so far behind on this chat.
I'm sorry.
I'm just like trying to keep up. Corned beef Reuben. Oh man, I love corned beef Reubens, but I cannot eat bread anymore. It's one of those things that I just can't have the carbs because my blood sugar goes way up. So corned beef Reuben, I can have it without the bread, which is just, I suppose that's good. In fact, that sounds really good right now. I just got hungry. Like a corned beef Reuben, just move the bread aside, dry it out, give it to the birds, and then I eat the rest of it. Man, does that sound good.
Iceman, you said you used a 360 cast iron intake. Did you ever check it when it wasn't running well? Did you ever check to make sure that the gaskets for the intake were sealing properly? Like along the way of the swap, did you maybe fix a problem that you didn't realize was there that didn't really have to do with the carburetor? I mean, good. If you got it working, I'm all for it. But sometimes people believe that the result, cause and effect is not always exactly linear. It could just have been that it was having manifold leaks and that you fixed those when you were switching things out, and so now it runs really great with the new carburetor.
See, and then there's other slant sixes like this one.
That's a nice slant six. Who does that belong to?
I don't know, somebody on.
Zoom in one more.
Zoom in one more. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there
you
you
move us out of the way. Yeah,
Okay, here, I'll move us over.
that's sort of interesting, isn't it? Yeah, and they got that box there, so they're, you could actually do that progressive. That may be progressive. I don't know. Oh yeah, the one in the center has a choke. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
That's all for show. There's no way you need that many CFM in a slant six. A
It sure
naturally
looks good.
aspirated slant
It sure
six.
looks good,
It's
doesn't
all for show.
I have no idea what they are. My Savoy does not need anything like that. I actually want a V8 in him. I have one here to rebuild a 318 Poly, I guess. I don't know. I've got a 318 Poly that was given to me by. It's all apart, but it looks really good, and it's. Let's see, who was it gave that to me? A guy that's always on Uncle Tony's. I can't think of his name right now. I should know it.
Yeah, you should. It'll come to you.
I know.
You'll
Because
tell
I
them when
can't
it comes.
remember shit anymore. Slant 6 Daily put on an Edelbrock VRS on his.
Yeah, and I guess it idled like immediately. It was just like a drop on and run kind of thing.
And that's what I started editing a video today at 1:30 our time, and I figured it'd be done in an hour and I'd have it up. Well, it was like 5:30 before I finished editing it. Had computer problems. Had just everything was slow. Finally got it up, and then I was trying to watch Slant Daily's newest video. We put a cam in. Was talking about timing gears, and all this stuff, and I was trying to do that while I was getting dressed and getting ready to get over here. And so I didn't watch all of it. I watched most of it. Man, was I in a hurry at the end. But I was watching Slant Daily. That's why I was. When I left the note that said I'd be here in 10 minutes, that's what I was doing.
Lester LeSabre, 3 Mikuni side drafts on a slant. Yeah, it might be hard to balance, but also there's no intake for it, probably. You'd have to fabricate, so
you know,
fun, I guess.
Uncle Tony talked about that, like 3 separate carburetors, and how it,
It's a lot of linkages.
How it didn't quite work right, and the reason was it didn't balance. They're all really into the same manifold, so this might work. Uncle Tony did a whole thing on that. Why they'd have trouble with it? How about 3 Mikuni side draft? Man, and Mikuni's. Man, I used to fly airplanes with 2-cycle engines with Mikuni's, and then later, what are the other small side draft carburetors? No, Bings.
Why
Bing
do you
carburetors.
say no? The engine is from my
Oh, it's from your 74 Dart. Okay, so it's in
It's
LA.
from a 90s.
It's in LA.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he's
right.
talking about a 318 going in a 63 Plymouth. So I was thinking maybe
Okay.
he was going to put
The converter hubs won't match, probably.
Oh no! Well, he's got a slant now, so he's going to have to do something about the transmission as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Well,
swap
and-
the engine and
well,
transmission.
Wait a minute. Mexican spec. You have an automatic in that or a manual? I think he has a manual. I'm not sure. The land speed. Use a Jimmy GMC 6-cylinder with a custom lug manifold and 5 Strombergs. Man, I had a friend back in the 70s. He was an old guy, and he used to race at Bonneville when he was younger, like late 40s, early 50s. And he had a Chevy from back then. It was probably like a 1950 Chevy. Had a GMC 6-cylinder, and he had what he called fuel injection. Had it hanging on the wall, and I was looking at it. And it was just a big, long plate that was cut the shape that would bolt on where the intake should go. And he had 2 little homemade injectors on each one right there. He had 2 fuel pumps, electric fuel pumps. I said, how does that work? And he goes, well, you turn on one fuel pump and it starts to spray and you start the engine. And then when you start picking, and there was I know that plate had throttle valves on it. When he starts picking up speed, he'd turn on the second pump and the second injector starts spraying fuel. And I said, doesn't that like backfire back through and it starts getting lean and doesn't it catch on fire? And he goes, oh yeah, all the time. But he goes, he says, but I went 90 miles an hour with it. Okay. That's an early homemade fuel injection. 2 fuel pumps and just this thing.
That is
I
really
wish
rough.
I wish I had pictures of that. So you put the AMC in place of a slant 6. Oh, that would be interesting. Hmm.
I don't think there's a whole lot of benefit for a lot
Well,
of work.
and an AMC what? A V8 or a 6? See, the 6 is probably too tall. And
I mean, you
the
could
V8
just cut a
maybe.
hole in the hood, but I don't
Oh,
know that there's any
AMC. Yeah, that's
benefit.
if it's a 6, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be pretty tall.
But I mean, it really wouldn't fit in any way. You'd have to cut fabric. I've never seen anybody do it because it's just a lot of work and like, where's the
Oh,
gain? It's bigger.
Mexican Spec says he has the automatic. Okay, so the 3 in a tree will go away. I have an automatic steering column to go there with no gear shift lever. Okay.
Well, you can put the shifter on the floor.
Well, 63 had the push buttons, but no reason to use that. Yeah, you'll figure something out. So I see someone get it done. Okay. I want a carb that will start after the car is parked for 6 months or 10 years. Oh, you know what you do?
Fuel injection.
Put aviation fuel in it. It won't evaporate. And an old car like that, you don't have a catalytic
This
converter.
is not fuel advice.
Well, if you have a car that does not have a catalytic converter,
For off-road vehicles only.
well, he's in Mexico.
Okay, I don't know what
put-
the rules are in Mexico.
And avgas is the same everywhere. Get some 100 low lead, put it in there, and you shut the car after you get it in there, shut the car off. It'll be
well, no,
2 years from now, you fire it right up.
you don't want to run it because it will foul a catalytic converter. So if you're running
It's a
anything with a catalytic converter,
It's a 63 Plymouth.
but it's a 1990 model engine, so I don't know how he's building it. He might be.
Okay.
If you're running a distributor and no catalytic converter, yes, you could do what he says, but we don't advise that because it's against the law here in the United States.
Yeah, and I use it on engines that would never have a catalytic converter. I could do that. No AMC V8s were used here. No AMC. Hey, Mexican Spec, what's that? That Matador I like. Oh, that's an inline 6, isn't it? That AMX. Man, I was looking at pictures of that tonight. Once again, I was showing Kim pictures of that really great black and red,
Oh, okay, well, if we're going to do it, let me bring
black and red Studebaker that you had and it's sold already. Man, but then while I was there, I had to go back and look at the Matador again.
We're going to look.
Yeah, Mexican Specs. There you go. Oh, you'll find him.
Yep.
I drained all my gas tanks and even from the carb. Yeah, that'll work too.
Okay, which car? If we're going to look at
It's
cars.
that one right there, the black and red one in the middle.
This one.
No, is that black and red?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Black, red. I see black and red. I don't know.
Well, go back, right below it.
Oh, the Studebaker. Yeah.
That.
You like
And
that.
all the pictures of that car, the interior, everything about that car is just wonderful. Look at that thing. And it was expensive. And he said it sold right away. Oh, it's black and orange. Okay, I thought it was red.
It's pretty cool.
100 low lead avgas smells
So much better than the regular gas they sell at the gas stations.
I don't know what that says.
I'll bet you it's so much better. I'll bet you
It has a different smell
spell
to it.
correct.
But 100 low lead, I just go out to the airport and I get a 5-gallon can of it. And you can't run it on the street because of the tax situation and because of the catalytic converters and all that. But I'll put it in my mower.
Off-road lawn equipment during the off-season.
I'll put it in my mower. I'll empty the mower, then put it in there and run it into the system. So that's all that's in the carburetor and the lines and everything. And then I know it can set all winter. It'll fire up on the first crank and nothing evaporates out of it. And avgas doesn't evaporate because it can't at high altitudes where there's no air pressure. It can't evaporate. You couldn't run auto fuel up there. So, let's see, something like that. Nice, man. So Mexican Spec, nice interior for, oh God, is that car? Oh, and it's got a Chrysler engine in it. That's really cool. I see the nicest interiors and the crappiest. It's not expensive to get it done here. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that 64 Plymouth too, the blue one. I haven't seen that yet. When did you put that up, Mexican Spec? I missed that. Yeah, that's a pretty nice car. Man.
Yeah, interior is expensive. There's no doubt about that.
Well, when I was a kid, I lived in Central California, and it's like in the late 50s, early 60s, and everybody I knew would take their car to Tijuana to have the interiors done. Tijuana. Oh, that's, I don't like that seat. I mean, the color's wrong, but. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's good.
That's the Plan 6.
Yeah, single barrel though. But you could fix that. He says down there's a lot of those manifolds, the 2-barrel manifolds.
Yeah. And then once you switch to the 2-barrel manifold, there's a lot of better choices for carburetors. But staying with the factory stuff, you don't have to mess with linkages. Especially if you have an automatic transmission, you have to have a transmission linkage as well. It's like you can't live without it. It's
just for the fun. I'm always talking this up. Mexican Specs cars. Just slowly scroll through there. Let's see what else he has that's comes up there. Like that yellow AMC, which is a VAM or VAM or something there. You know, that's a pretty nice car. And then
that's pretty slick. I don't know. The back end of this car is not my favorite style.
No, but I mean, it's a really nice car.
Beautiful car. Beautiful car. And that yellow isn't really my favorite.
Yeah, see, and I don't mind the light yellow at all. One of my favorite colors of that, like the early, like the mid Volkswagen Beetles, like 02, 01, 02, 03 in there, they had a light yellow that I really liked.
One-Eyed Cat, you're good with that kind of stuff. A linkage is not an obstacle for you. I applaud you. That yes, there's no doubt in my mind that you would work out a linkage with no problems.
You know what?
The average person is befuddled by bracketry and linkages and stuff like that. So.
See, coat hangers are good for linkage. They're good for welding rods. They're good to clean out little holes and stuff. You can make antennas with them. What a great thing to have. See, now look at that Volkswagen thing. It's not a thing. That's not a thing. It's a different kind of thing. You know, I think that's just outstanding. Something we didn't get here. Savoy had no trim at all. They were cop cars and taxis. Yep, that's what the Savoys were. In Mexico, it sold a Fury trim on the side because it was a slant 6-valve Ford had the V8.
May I switch over to Kylie's comment and bring up?
Yes, of course.
What is the reasoning for that we're looking for a Triumph GT6?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
for some reason you have all these airplanes up there.
Well, we were talking about them last time, but don't talk about it, or else then we'll be back on that again.
I think they were butterscotch. Was it butterscotch, that color in the 60s? The GM soft yellow? I had a friend that had a 62 Chevy that was Impala, hardtop. It was a nice car, and it was that kind of very light yellow. Looks like a full-size Tonka truck. Yep. No V8. Interesting. Yeah, no V8s. Okay, what are we doing with this GT6?
And we got a request to bring up a picture of one.
So we have one.
There it is. It's on my other screen, so we can come back to it.
Who?
What were we talking about?
I don't know who requested that.
Kylie.
Okay, so now we're back to Mexican Specs for
What
sale.
did we figure out that this looked like? Some type of military vehicle almost.
Mexican Spec knows all about it.
Only little.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think you could build that out of plywood and spray paint. We could build one of those.
Busted Radio Garage, hello.
Welcome to the stream, Busted Radio. We are just chit-chatting about whatever.
See. Oh, what is that? Is that one of his?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, there's always Volkswagens in Mexico.
It's pretty. You know what? I would totally. But no. I owned some older Volkswagen Bug Beetle cars, and they were so roached out, clapped out, rattle trap rust buckets by the time I got them that I can't imagine that it would actually be something that I'd want to drive. I really like the aesthetic of the car. I think it's cool. It's very rounded. It's like retro and super nice, but like the motors go and they're just
Mexican spec. Tell me
I
if
don't have to drive one.
tell me if I got the
There's no
pronunciation.
room in there. But they're so cool. But no.
Pronunciation right. Hormiga? Is that right? Hormiga?
Hormiga?
Yeah, it looks like Hormiga. Hormiga.
I don't think it's Hormiga.
No, I think it's Hormiga. I think. Let's see if I got it right. He'll tell me.
Okay. Oh, what's this? Ford. Oh, that's like a station wagon.
Well, they make those into
We looked
those.
at this before, didn't we? That's kind of
Mexican spec stuff is on. He has an Instagram page. Very good. Gracias.
Yeah, even if you have no intention of buying and importing a Mexican car, it is fun to look at. Share it with your friends.
That's the only reason I have Instagram. Is to look at it. To look at the Mexican specs cars and dream. And when I get some money someday, I'm going straight to Mexico and I'm going to look at them.
Get some cars.
I'm going to go look at them. Yeah. Oh, I never liked
the woodwork was cool. I agree, Mexican spec.
You know, the only cars I liked air cooled on was the Volkswagens that they put the Myers-Manx dune buggy bodies on them. The engine was out in the open, probably got lots of air, and it was just such a simple thing. Other than that, yeah, I wasn't real crazy about air cooled engines. I flew around with a lot of airplanes with air cooled engines.
They're actually, all engines are air cooled. Right? Like they expel heat into the air. That the circulatory system of a Volkswagen is actually an oil cooler system. And so if you were having problems with heat, you could expand the system and probably run it, with a deeper pan, with a bigger cooler, and probably never have any kind of overheating issues if you did it just right. So
took $20,000 off the price. Which truck is this? I'm looking back. I saw something I wanted to. Oh, I don't know. Oh, air-cooled engines. You know what they really are? They're fuel-cooled engines. You run them pretty rich to keep them cool.
Oh, well, that's the other thing is you could run mix with E85 or something like that, and that would cool it off, wouldn't it?
The carry-all.
Jet the heck out of that carburetor. I'll bet you if you talk to Shane, he could tell you, because he used to race those out in Cali. He loves to tell his stories. So Slant Daily Garage, probably on Wednesday. Professor P, probably on a Wednesday night. You could probably ask him about how to keep one of the air-cooled engines from getting too warm.
Okay, let's go look at more of his. Okay. I like that. I like that Valiant though, of course.
What year is that? 66. Okay.
Man, see that's the Plymouth version of your car. You got a 66 Dart. Jet with 99s.
These puppies are expensive in the United
States. The K5 Blazer I posted today could be a huge moneymaker over there. Oh, he posted a Blazer. Where is it? At the top.
This one?
Oh, is that a Blazer? That doesn't look like a Blazer to me. Oh, it is a Blazer. I thought it was a pickup. It's a Blazer. 79. It's a U.S. spec Chevrolet K5 Blazer. That means it was imported into Mexico. And now it may go back to the U.S. Yeah, I remember those. I remember those up in Ohio working on the tailgate so rusty that hinges, the tailgate would bend instead of the hinges. Dealers wanted me to fix that. Like, oh my God. Round Eye Blazers are bringing big money. Huh. It's a 79. Wow. Tim was right. Big enough oil cooler and fan that never stops running. Keep air-cooled VW happy. Yeah, I remember there was a VW shop next to my first radiator shop, and they're always pulling engines down that had the number 3 cylinder overheated. I remember that, and always had problems with that.
The thing about a
The hoods would fold clean in half. Yeah, because they got those little divots.
oh yeah, the
Well,
crumple zone
yeah,
divots.
it's so the hood
Yeah, and then
bends
they
when you
make
hit
those
something.
things to.
But you got to keep the hood hinges lubricated, or it bends the hood in half when you close the hood. I could never get behind a full size Blazer. Never. Yeah, I was never into the full size Blazers or those big. What was the Dodge like? A Ram Charger? Yeah, they're okay. I sent Harry the link to the
I
green
prefer the smaller
truck to
one.
make him jealous. You know what? He likes those big oval pods on the hood, like in the 1960. And I always told him I like those trucks because those big pods too, and he thought they were kind of cool. Even though the trucks after that were the same body, they didn't have that same hood. You'll pay $10K for a running unrusted K5. So I'll have to price this one with delivery to the border.
Yeah, you'd be into that to get one in that condition. So that makes sense. If that's what you wanted. I mean,
Green truck is, yeah, look at that green one. Yeah, like
boy, is it pretty. It's awfully shiny.
It
Did
just-
you doctor those pictures?
it just doesn't have that big hood.
63 Mexican spec Apache.
I mean, I like that. That's a nice truck.
That's pretty paint. Oh yeah, the interior is nice.
Somebody painted the steering wheel. It's cracked. Oh, look at that, man.
I don't know about that. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
it look-
six-cylinder.
So what? But
All that for a tiny little six-cylinder.
those seats. Some people are gonna like it, and some aren't. I like it. I
That
like
seat?
those seats.
You were a fan of that seat?
I'd want to back
What's-
up and look at the whole interior and see the
Lime
seats.
green and
I don't
white?
know.
No, I'm not a fan. But I mean, it's fresh. It looks good.
The interior's
not
been
talking about
Mexicanized.
it's not
And,
my flavor.
maybe I like some Mexican stuff. Mexicanized. Yeah, I don't know.
We had
I
almost
see stuff
all
that-
6 cylinders. Why did you have almost all 6 cylinders? What's the meaning behind that? Because in the United States, they just love putting V8s in cars, and especially trucks. I mean, even now, if you want a V8 engine to hot rod your car,
See, he
you
answered
pull
you
it out
already.
of a truck.
He already answered you.
What was
The last thing he wrote.
we had almost all 6 cylinders, but
Yeah.
why?
Oh, it's just Mexico. Didn't they make V8s illegal for a while or something? Mostly because they grew up with 6-cylinder full-size cars. I don't know. It's just... The F-body Mopar's still available down there at Valari's. Man, the first year Valari wagon, I thought that was such a great-looking car. And by the time I was able to buy one, they were all rusty and messed up and gone. Look at that Fairmont. You missed the... Oh, back up a little bit. You're going so fast.
I was looking
What?
for, what do you want?
A little more, that brown Fairmont. Oh, I don't know. Just keep going.
That?
Well, it's a 4-door. I didn't notice it was a 4-door.
Even
It's
if it was a 2-door.
I like Fairmonts. I know
That's
you think they're
That's
frumpy.
big. It's an old man car.
An old man car.
Yeah.
I had that Fairmont when I was young.
These are nothing special up here. We can find these all day long in the woods up here in Tennessee. Man.
See
lots
see
of
that
those.
AMC wagon there? What is that? Is that a Concorde or is that a
Vam wagon.
It's an American down there. Oh yeah, it's got the goofy looking nose, but it's got good steering wheel, and it's got the dash like a Matador has. See, they did that down there too. They didn't put the what do they call it? The other thing that was that body. Can't think of it. But they put the Matador dash in those down there in Mexico.
Cool. Here's a Duster.
Yeah, but that's some kind of Super Duster, or is
It's
that a
beak
Dart?
nose.
Is that a
It
Plymouth
says
or a
Valiant
Dart?
Duster.
Oh, it's a Valiant. Okay.
It's a beak nose year, 74. Oh, here's another beak nose.
I don't like that nose.
Nah, the earlier ones are my preference. This paint looks real pretty on this car. Let's see what else can we find that's interesting. Boop-a-doo.
I like AMC cars after 1963, and the Little Rambler after 1964. Once they had good body styles, the ones before that were horrible. What was that? Back up a little bit. There's a red thing. What is that red thing? What is that? What is that? Oh, it's a Maverick.
That would be fun. Wonder what motor it has.
Well, you can bet it's probably. Oh, it's a 289. They never did that here. They still had 289s in the 70s down there. Oh,
Okay, that is slick.
man.
That's a slick car.
Oh, man. Yep. I had a Mercury Zephyr with a 302 when I was young. But I also like Fairmonts. Yeah, I had one of my Fairmonts was a Futura that had a Pinto 4-cylinder in it with a broken piston. I drove it around like that for a long time. Knock, 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 knock. Finally pulled it out, and I put a 302 in it. I built a 302 and put it in there with a C4. And man, that thing was quick. I really liked that car, and I liked that one because of the grill. I was looking for those grills, and they're like $500. I want to put one in our, and that's the steering wheel I like that's so expensive.
Is that a 3 or 4-speed? 3-speed manual.
Man, that's what I was
Oh, that
thinking.
motor, that engine compartment looks pretty slick. I like that.
Somebody chromed the radiator. I used to chrome radiators. I was the only person I knew that was doing that. A 59 Chevy.
This?
Yeah.
Why are we looking at all Mexican spec stuff?
I don't know. I said just scroll through it.
Thanks for being here, Mexican spec. We enjoy your photos and
I'm interested in hell here in
we
Mexico.
dream of owning all these cars, and we cannot own all the cars.
See, like Doug Stewart, all he remembers is rusted Mavericks. See, and I was around the Maverick came out, and I was in Southern California. Nothing rusted on them, and they were just like a Mustang, same suspension, everything as like the early Mustangs. They're great cars.
So when we driving out to California or Texas to
Oh, we may have to go to
rummage up
Arizona
some
pretty soon.
cars.
Oh, there's a car. That was the one, but yeah, okay,
which one?
the one on the left right there.
This one.
Yeah, that's a car you can't get here. That's a Chevrolet Corsa pickup. Little, tiny, tiny car. I've seen those in Mexico, and I had to walk up to one to see what it was because I walked way up the street to see what it was. It was parked. Maverick was an economy car in the U.S., but it was Mexico's muscle car. It was the smallest car sold that year. Wow. Yeah, see, my grandmother bought a Maverick. The first year they had a 302 in them here, and she used to burn rubber going up the street because she had nothing but like big Plymouths with flathead sixes, and then she had a big Impala with a 6-cylinder in it, and then she had a V8 Maverick. I think she just thought you had to push the gas pedal to the floor to get rolling. And she used to right rear tire go up and smoke when she drove away from her driveway. Let's see, it was the smallest car sold that year. It's a Corsa in Europe. Here it's just called a Chevy. Okay. I saw one in Algodones, and man, I just like, what is that? Walked over there. In fact, when I was looking at it, I was thinking about Mexican spec. I've been thinking, man, I gotta see if you can find one of those.
Boy, that's the littlest truck
That's a tiny
ever.
little truck.
That is the littlest truck ever.
We could
Yes.
use that to drive back and forth up to the store and up to the co-op but yeah.
Yeah. It would be cool. But I don't know if we're not going to be able to go to Mexico to get one. But it's
No,
really
but he'll
cool.
deliver it to Arizona if we go out there. But we can't afford any cars right now. There's a thing. There's a thing.
A thing.
Thing.
There is a thing. You're
There's a
absolutely right.
thing.
I was looking for that I forget what I was looking for.
See all these cars Mexican spec has? People should be buying cars from him. At least ones of us that can afford it.
I think if you were doing a restoration or some kind of thing, I think you would be way further ahead buying something like this than starting with a rusty pile of garbage.
I've only see that Chevelle. Oh, look at that 57 Ford, the green one. Green and white one. Oh, man. Except somebody put chrome around the headlights. That's wrong. But, I had 57 Fords, many of them.
Oh, it's a wagon.
Yeah. Because I looked at this before, so I knew what it was. But I
The
had...
green doesn't look factory, but other
No, it
than
isn't.
that,
It
looks
isn't.
cool.
But, yeah, I had many 57
Wouldn't
Fords.
the green have been like a pastel of some kind?
There was a very different
Pastel,
green.
or would it have been a metal flake? Which would it have been in 57?
Oh, what, the 57 Ford needs work? Man, I was like, when I was like 16, 17, 18, 19, at those years,
Anything that old needs work up here.
I had 56 Fords, 57 Fords, had one 59 Ford. I just, man, St. Patty Day parade car. Yeah, you know the color's wrong, but I had one that was light yellow and white, and I had another one that was just flat black primer, and what my other 57s have, I don't know. I had 56s. Green and white is beautiful. Well, that green and white, I mean, you see it, but I don't especially like the color, but I like the car. I don't like the big wide white walls. I'm not a big wide white wall guy. Ford Mavericks had the TV commercial with the stewardesses when they first came out. A friend joked, assembled by stewardesses. Did they sell Skyliners in Mexico? Oh, the Skyliners, that the retractable hardtop? I didn't like the retractable hardtop. It looked all out of proportion, but a lot of people like them. We just saw one at a car show. Retractable hardtop.
Was it a 56?
It was up. No, it was 57, 8, or 9. I don't remember which one it was. But he had the top down. But, it's got all these motors, and it puts the top up, and the little thing flips up, and it comes up. They're just... Oh, I know what it was. He had another 57 there, and he says, I have one of those at home. I said, does it work top go? He goes, yeah, it works flawlessly. So we didn't get to see it. See, that's an odd car you don't see here. Go that one right there. I mean, that's not a car you ever see in the U.S. But you could get it here.
Actually, I saw something very similar to that. It was more of a van than a truck platform to start, though. I don't know what it was called.
There's a happy customer of his, bought his Volkswagen.
Nice.
Oh, what's that, 69 Ford?
I was looking for an Aspen Volare wagon.
Oh.
I keep finding...
Those things?
I owned a 1980 Dodge Aspen. It had this grille. It did not have the side louvers. It did have those taillights. It didn't have the wing. It also didn't have these little light
those are
things
turn signal indicators.
Didn't have those. It had the side marker light things. It didn't have like the scoop or nothing. It was like a stripper version. Stripped down version, not stripped.
The DS or the SM? Oh, man.
I probably have
They're
pictures
both
of
cool.
me with it somewhere.
They're
and
both
I took
cool.
it to the track for the Mopar stuff, Mopar Nationals and such.
I've worked on those Citrons, and they're a pain in the ass, but they're cool looking.
Ford, Datsun, Monte Carlos, Ford, Jeep, Datsun.
Some Mexican spec.
Here's
Yeah, you ought to get some sales out of tonight's live. Well, we're going to leave this up, too.
I don't think our friends have a lot of money to be buying Mexican cars.
Scroll down to that Matador. It's a Matador right there. Oh, man. Oh, mine was.
The thing that I really like about these
that's
Mexican cars
Good steering wheel.
is that, I don't know, they must redo all the interiors. When you get an old car like this here, even if it's partially restored, it's rarely the interior
Ari!
so nice.
I didn't even see Ari pop in because I'm over here looking at Mexican specs cars.
Hi, Ari.
Ah.
We're just shooting the breeze.
Man, Ari, I was Sunday night after Tony. I just kept refreshing your channel and refreshing your channel and refreshing your channel, and you never came in. So I was hoping you'd go live, but you didn't. I don't post the cars with bad interiors, Kim, there, but they're out there. See, this one, that's a good steering wheel, but it's a bad seat. Those seats are not comfortable. There's 2 different seats used on those Matadors, although I'd take that in a second, and just deal with it. I was out cold. I've been really... Oh, no. You got sick in Illinois and brought it back to California.
What's One-Eyed Cat rebuilding that he needs rings and bearings?
Uh-oh. Doing good. Most of my parts are in, except rings and bearings, of course.
What are you
doing? You're doing a 4...
I missed the...
What'd you do? Take your 440 apart?
No. Why would he do that? What happened? Fill us in here. Maybe it's hard to have this conversation through a live.
Illinois food gets you. Man, the first time I was in Illinois, where I lived there for a while, I was at in Rantoul, which is was um, there was an Air Force base there, but oh, look at that.
I don't know where that came from.
There was Chinook Air Force Base there. Man,
Well, like
Mexican Specs just got the best used cars there are. It's just all there is to it. Guy really finds the stuff, man. I don't know about that.
Gosh.
I don't know about that.
Ford Topaz.
No, oh my God.
That looks like my dad's old Mercury Lynx.
Oh.
It would always stop on me. The valve train was so worn out that I'd get it hot and it would just vapor lock and stop. And they'd always blame me, you're doing something to that car. Like, no, I'm just driving it. But I would drive it further than anyone else, so it would stop while I was driving it because I'd have it out until it got hot. Anyways, it was so worn out. Not a bad little car, but...
Oh, look at that.
It must have rock crawler gears in it. Amigo.
A 4-cylinder stick shift tempo. What is better? Yeah, I shouldn't say anything. I'm not saying anything bad about your cars. Just that's not my. Because I think although that wagon you just showed, I've had many Taurus and Sable wagons from all different years. And
these Toyotas are actually, people run them into the ground 400,000 miles or whatever, and they finally fall, the wheels fall off of them, and they still want like $5,000 for them here. I mean, in very rough shape. They don't look anything like this. So the people who like these trucks really like these trucks. Cult status.
so, Ari, you flew out there and flew back and had a rental car, I guess. Oh, what'd they give you for a car? Did you get an electric car? I bet you got some gas hog. Oh, look at that! Now that color actually looks good on that car. Because those cars are supposed to be a little gaudy, and I kind of like it. A Rambler Javelin, man, I forget they use the name Rambler. You got a 2024 Silverado to work an electric car place. Oh, they could have given you a Rivian.
I don't know what any of them. I don't really see prices in here, so the thing of it is,
You have to scroll down. You have to scroll down in this thing.
It doesn't even matter. You cannot compare the price of a car that has not even been rust repaired because it's never rusted to one that's falling apart from the underside. You just can't compare. What is there to compare? It's a completely different animal. Like, these cars are ready to drive. They're, obviously do your homework and make sure you're not buying something that's like a flipper mistake. Like Uncle Tony loves to find the flipper mistakes. But I don't think Mexican Spec is trying to build his reputation on cars like that.
These are probably decent cars.
I mean, I don't know how. I'm guessing if you wanted to buy a car like this, Mexican Spec would do anything you wanted to confirm the condition to show you that the price he's asking is reasonable. And I don't know how he does it, so I can't really.
Harry says the Rivian would have been nice. They're fast as hell. Yeah, but they're I kind of like the looks of the Rivian. And I guess if you're going to drive mostly local, they're pretty good. I like to jump in a car and go a couple thousand miles. So, yeah, electric doesn't cut it for me. Not yet. But what was that?
Which one?
That pickup, whatever. What is that thing?
Some kind of Chevy.
I see that.
Love? 98 Love?
Oh, I didn't even know they had such a thing.
I guess it's a Colorado, but it looks weird. The front end is weird.
And look at the doors. Look where the back wheels are. They're right up against the doors. Look at that. That's a different looking thing.
That is kind of different from it's not a Colorado. I mean, it is. That would be the era of a Colorado. I don't know. Different.
If there's a space around there, test drive one. Just to check it out. Yeah.
It's in Isuzu. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So that it's
It's
just
got
like the old.
Chevy emblems on
It's just like the old Chevy Loves. They were Isuzus.
it. Okay.
I've never been in the Midwest before. It was different. Yeah, you know, my sixth grade year, I was a California guy, California kid. My sixth grade year, in the summer before and the summer after, I spent in South Dakota, and that was really good because it was a small town. It was a farming town. It was also a college town. So I had friends there, and it was really different. But I kind of liked the Midwest. And when I got in the Air Force and they sent me to Illinois right off, and I went to school in Rantoul, Illinois. The same thing. It was plain states. It was flat as hell, farm area, and I felt right at home there. So yeah, the Midwest is different, and but I enjoy it. I always enjoyed it. I enjoy the summers there. Winters are a little they're they can be cold. So also for shipping, look into Brunswick, Georgia, big entry port for autos. Hmm. The shipping company I use goes to Jacksonville, Florida before they take off to Europe. It's the same port the Japanese cars come into. Kim, that red Nissan 200 SX has a Mustang 302
It's
under there.
Ford powered.
Whoa,
That's
whoa, whoa, whoa.
that's.
Oh.
I want to see a photo. I did not expect that. I just thought it would be a Nissan.
Oh my God.
I have a Nissan 300 ZX.
Oh,
with
we
a
have plans for that, but don't
3-liter.
tell anybody. We have plans for that
What
thing.
is our plan for that? We there. That's a parts car. I don't know what's going on with that. We talked about lots of things we could do with that car.
Mm-hmm.
It has T-tops. It's a 5-speed manual with a 3-liter engine, and it's not the turbocharged
Keep
version,
going.
but oh yeah, we're looking for the 302, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, see, it's a little rough there. A little rough.
So you can clean that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
got some.
Yep.
Look at that.
That's a Ford engine stuffed into a Nissan.
Man.
I mean, the thing about it is the maintenance and repair costs, and is going to be way cheaper than whatever Nissan had in there.
Oh,
What
that
would have
thing's
Nissan had in there? An inline six?
probably a 4-cylinder. I'm thinking,
No.
yeah, 200 SX. Yeah, I think so.
Would it have been a front-wheel drive car
No, I don't think so.
if it was only a 200? Help us out here, Mexican Spec.
Kim, that red Nissan, hey, it looks like a great conversion job was done. No air though, with the hood down. You would never know. Yeah, with the hood down, I didn't know.
Yeah, I passed right over it. These are used for drifting.
Drifting.
Yeah, the 302 would definitely drift the 200 car because they're a
Do
little.
they do a lot of that in Mexico? Do a lot of drifting in Mexico? Yes, Jax is a place. Brunswick had ships coming in every day from Europe and Asia.
Very nice.
Look at that. Hyundai.
Rear-wheel drive Ford.
Hyundai
Bronco.
ship with over
I'll be
2,000 cars fell over sideways. Took over a year to salvage. Yeesh. Yeah, that's what I thought. 200 SX is rear-wheel drive 4-cylinder. Oh, look at that. That looked pretty nice. That old Chevy 240. Yeah. It's got a lot of blue on it, doesn't it?
Looks like somebody's driving that one all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they painted the grill and everything blue, but it still looks good.
That's a good start for a project. I like looking at these because I have one and I've owned one before. I'm just curious to see.
What is that, an 85?
85. Looks just like a regular your standard pickup truck. Instead of spending $40,000 on a brand new pickup truck, get an old truck.
40,000. You can get one for 40?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's something we don't get here. It's like a little limousine. I'm saying. Oh man. Yeah, and these all the Mustangs half look like Mercuries.
There's a
With the
bunch of them
bubble back.
around here because of the military base. People bring them here.
It's the
They
old
love their
cars and trucks.
Mustangs here.
Yeah, they're daily drivers, which means they're being used, which means they're decent cars. They're even if they got a few problems, it's not the problems you have after a car's been sitting for 25 years.
When you drive it, that stuff starts to get sorted, or it gets
What?
running
He
around.
says, I think the Dart will be the last Chrysler product I own. Why? Man, there's so many good Chrysler products. I mean, there's a lot of good and everything, but geez, I mean, look at all the cool B bodies that are out there.
Cordoba.
I don't like that nose. I like the two-door. The two-door had such a cool looking front end. The four-door had that thing. Oh yeah, there you go.
Had one of those growing up.
You guys did, didn't you? You guys had AMCs.
My mom liked AMCs. That's where she'd shop for cars at the AMC dealer down in
Oh, back
AMC
up
Jeep
one.
Rambler.
Back up one. I had one of those, and it was that color.
A 110?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it had a little pushrod engine in them. It's a 1200.
Oh, that's a little bit more. Yeah.
They were great. It had a 4-speed, and it went fine. It was a real light little car, you know. I don't know what happened to it. I gave it to a girl that needed a car, and then she did well and got a job, and she gave the car back to me. And I don't remember what happened to it after that. I don't remember. Do you know the Aspen and the Diplomat had the same body? See, and I like those.
The Aspen and the Dodge Diplomat. Yeah.
See, I like that nose on that. What were those called here? The Hornet. They were called a Hornet here.
Hornet here? Yeah.
Hornet here. Oh,
There's
there we
wagon.
go.
Pinto wagon.
Man, do I like Pinto
Yeah,
wagons.
he loves Pintos.
I don't especially like the wood.
You were telling us that, Dougster. You don't
What's
like
that?
the wood? I think it makes it look very classic.
Look at that.
Panel wagon.
What is that? What
It's
is
a
that?
Nissan.
Nissan?
You know what that looks like? Those
We don't have those here. That is cool looking.
where'd it go?
Where
There's
do-
no other pictures of it. That's weird. Where's the other pictures of it? It looks like those trucks that
Oh,
they have a delivery box on them, but it's a van.
oh, I like that. Man,
Ram Charger. Dodge. What's this one? Datsun. There's another 200 Dodge.
somebody took the top off of it.
Okay. I gotta stop.
Look, you gotta
I gotta
stop.
stop.
You got carried away with
We have been doing that for 25 minutes.
for Mexican Specs cars. So everybody here, get a hold of Mexican Spec on his
Everybody buy a
Instagram
Mexican car.
and buy 2 of his cars. You make him happy tonight.
We don't even get a commission. Do we get a commission, Mexican Spec?
We already got it. He sent us
Not
license plates.
sponsored.
He sent us license plates. 200SX Mexico is called a Sakura. Sakura? Or Sakura?
Sakura.
Sakura.
All right, I'm going to get my coffee refilled. This man here will keep you entertained.
You're gonna get
Entertain
coffee.
him.
You're gonna get coffee refilled?
Yep. Do you need anything while I'm up?
No, I don't drink coffee. Not very much. Peach blossom or peach blossom. We can work something out. Use cup muffin cam. The second pronunciation. Where now? I gotta go back. I don't see it. Oh, I don't know. I'm reaching down for my cold drink. She gets hot drinks. I get cold drinks. My Dr. Pepper's 0 sugar. That's her making noise in there because her
My coffee maker's the noisiest old thing you ever heard.
I'm French. Can't you tell by this?
Tell by this outrageous accent?
You know, I was working with a guy and he spoke French. Like he was learning French. But he was doing okay. But he spoke English as a first language. And I said, you know, with French, I never know how to pronounce the words. Because a lot of times the end of the word is silent, you know. He goes, just remember the French are lazy and they don't pronounce the end of the word. He goes, just leave the end off all the words. What's this barbecue? What did I miss? I'm French, can't you? The 260, yeah. Area, are you distracted by keeping the smoker at temperature? Brisket's coming along nice, though. Barbecue. Yeah, here in Tennessee, barbecue is the meat, and it's like got barbecue sauce on it. But the thing you have out in the yard is a grill, not a barbecue. And you don't barbecue anything. You have a cookout. Just different. The U.S. and Canada has French people. We do not. Oh man, I I used to go up into Canada when I lived up near there, and all the products have French on one side and English on the other side. Now, I used to buy some once in a while just so I'd have it, something that's had French on it, just for the hell of it. But really, the good deals are in Mexico. Man, I lost my doctor again. Oh, I don't want to go looking for another doctor. And Mexico is 1,100 miles from here. And then Mexican Spec told me that's probably not the best place to go. Oh, here we go again, looking for another doctor. Did I misplace my doctor? You know what? You might laugh at this. Dollar General had vans that come out and they park 2 days a week in front of each Dollar General, and they have it's a big van.
You're explaining it wrong.
It's a. You want to explain it?
Yeah, I'll explain it. So.
Oh, Rick Shea, 100 Degrees in Henderson, Mexican Spec. There's Rick Shea. Well, let me just finish because I know you're going to explain it different than me. Anyway, they have these vans and all this, and I really liked it because they do lab work right in the van. They have nurses there. The doctor's on a screen. It's just wonderful service. And I was really liking that for quite a while. And they closed up all the vans and took them away. So I got to start over.
It was nice. The dollar store is like...
Oh, it's like right
but
there.
They had a van. It was like an outreach van for like shut-in people to get their COVID vaccinations. That's where they got their funding. So now that COVID's over, they weren't getting free government money, so they shut it down. But it was so damn convenient. It was right there. And the doctors that they had, they were really great. They were really attentive. They helped him get his blood pressure way down. They helped him get his blood sugar under control. Everything was going so good.
Half French and half German? I bet you can cook good stuff. Man, what is that smell?
Peanuts.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, I expected to smell coffee and I smelled some kind of something else.
Munching on snacks.
Yes, we have AC and a pool. Man, Rick Shea keeps that house spotless. The place looks brand spanking new. I've been there many times. And that house and that pool and that yard, his place, he just keeps it perfect. Nothing short of perfect. It's amazing. Let's see, I've been saying for a long time that we need to get more vocational for medical help. I'm going to have to go search for another doctor, and I'm not looking forward to it. And I talked to the woman. She's like 250 miles from here, the one I always see on the screen. She was great, but she can't do telehealth anymore. So
yeah, they're doing away with it in the United States because they it was like a temporary thing that they were doing for COVID, and now that thing is over, they don't want to do it as much. They want you to come in the office so they can weigh you and do your blood pressure and bill you. They do not want you to go through the internet for doctor visits.
I do cook pretty good. I've been saying for a long time that we need... Okay, my son was sick for 2 weeks with... How do you pronounce that? Dang? I don't know how to pronounce that. Dang. It got bad for a little while. Yeah, I bet. Telehealth. Yeah, telehealth. Yeah, like I'd be in the van, and I'd be sitting there. There's an RN there, maybe two of them, and they do all the take blood pressure, weigh, all this kind of stuff, and then there's a screen. And the doctor comes on the screen. And then I talk to her. And she'll ask it. They take a thing right here and like breathe in, breathe out, all this on my back, and then listen to my heart. One day they did an EKG and just put all the things on me, and she was there 250 miles an hour, 250 miles away, reading the EKG, and it was all over the internet. It was wonderful, and it was close by, and then they closed it down. So yeah.
And then for telehealth also, it's just video conference with your doctor, but like they that's the official name for it is a telehealth session, and they'll review test results. They'll send you to a lab. You go get blood drawn, and then
they don't.
Later you'll talk. I know the van does it
The
right
van,
there.
they had a lab in the van, and they do the lab work right there.
Which is
You
super convenient,
know how
yeah.
nice that is? You don't have to go somewhere, make another appointment, and wait. And I hate all that. Okay, my cast iron. Enough of the doctor. I'm irritated with it. I want to go back
We'll
to
get you
Mexico.
somebody.
I want to go back to Mexico, but it's 1,100 miles, and it's
No.
the wrong state in Mexico. Apparently, I don't know. I'd go there again. Okay, let's see. But
Mexican
it's too far.
spec is everywhere. I see
Okay.
every live I go into, he's in there moderating.
Okay, my cast iron Dutch oven on an open fire is where I shine. I make this chicken artichoke pasta dish. Oh man,
That sounds great.
that sounds really good. Yeah, Nevada has a shortage of doctors. Yeah, Henderson, Nevada. Yeah, everybody has a shortage of doctors, I think.
We don't have a terrible shortage of doctors. There's
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
doctors here, but also they replaced a lot of doctors with registered nurses and licensed medical practitioners, assistant.
Are you a bot? Not a bot. I just spend a lot of time in front of my screen.
AI.
Mexican Spec is just a great moderator, and he's on several of the lives I go on. Ari, that's quite. Oh, what did I miss? Ari, where did Ari say something? I missed it.
Might have been talking about nationalities.
Buff,
I
can you
can't go
go to
back
the
up. Do you want me to
VA?
go back up?
You know what? No, I want to answer this.
Okay.
I mean, it's going kind of quick here.
Don't talk too bad about the VA.
The VA, man. No, I don't want. There's reasons I don't want to go. I have a couple friends trying to talk me into going. I've got a friend that goes to the VA, and prescriptions are late. It just I don't want to deal with it. I just want to go to a doctor that's convenient, that knows what they're doing. And I've been to doctors that don't seem to know what they're doing, or they don't care. They're just. There was a guy I was going to in Yuma. I'll tell you exactly what he do. I go there. I have an appointment. Then I get there and I have to wait an hour and a half or something. Finally get in there, sit down, and I'd be waiting for him. And then he'd come into the room, and he had a bucket, and he'd flip the bucket upside down, sit on the bucket with a laptop, and he'd say to me, "Let's see, you need." He'd list off the medications I need, and he goes on his laptop, and he goes, "And what pharmacy you want it in?" And he'd tell me like that, and he goes, "I'll see you in 30 days." I'd leave. That was $300, and you know, I can do that for $300. No tests, no. He didn't give a crap. All he wanted to do is get rid of me, write the prescription and get rid of me. And then 30 days later, I got to go back and do the same thing. Well, I was in Yuma. So you know what I did? I went into Mexico. Never had better service. It was wonderful. And I never went back to that doctor. And then I moved back here to Tennessee when they lost my job went away out there. So now I'm 1,100 miles from Mexico. So, such a
I
deal.
do okay here. I got to go to the doctor tomorrow. They did make me, you know what, they don't like my medication. They send me to the pain clinic because the pain clinic, every time you go into the pain clinic, they drug test you. Even though I'm not on a narcotic pain medication, not that it's anybody's business, but I'm not. But the pain clinic, anytime you're on pain medication or for chronic pain maintenance, they got to continuously drug test you, which is not a problem because I don't do any drugs. But my regular doctor didn't want to do it. They were like, just go to the pain clinic. So I have to go to my regular doctor for one thing and then the pain clinic for another thing. So now that my regular doctor, unless I have a problem, I only have to go in every 3 months. But the pain clinic, and you have to go in every month. And it is expensive.
But
it's not that hard.
KJ Kylie asking
Do you miss Permantes? Permantes. You know
I
what?
don't know
I
what that
miss
is.
Permantes
What
in a
is?
romantic sense of I miss late 80s Permantes, where when you got a Permanente sandwich, it was like a Permantes, they chained Permantes and they ruined it. Ruined it.
I don't know what that is.
Ruined it. The only real Permantes is the one in the stick at 3 a.m.
What is that? What are you talking about?
It's a sandwich shop. And they
Oh,
put
oh.
coleslaw and french fries on your sandwich.
I had no idea what it was.
And the only real Permantes was the one in the Strip District. They were the original, right? And the person cooking, I can't even describe them, but they were always, and the grill was, it was just something special. And not
I don't know.
anymore.
Ponamania, maybe I
But
should go up here to this VA. The friend I have that has all the trouble with VA is not in this area. He's in another area. And he has a lot of trouble.
he's very hesitant because the bad stories spread like wildfire. And the good stories are like, doctors are tough. It's hit and miss, and you really have to advocate for yourself and chase after a good doctor. And you think you have somebody, and all of a sudden they pull the rug out from you. Oh, can't do that anymore. You have to go someplace else. And you're like, what the heck? And that's just been that way for the past 15 years. Every time you get a doctor, all of a sudden it changes. You got to go someplace new, have all the same tests, have all the same appointments, pay
and
over and over and over and over for the same.
That's what I'm not looking forward to. Is now I got to do all that. My doctor, I all knew what was going on. It was just continuation, and now I got to start all over.
It
again.
is. It's a lot of work,
again,
and it's frustrating.
and I just started over again with doctors over and over and over. So easy art per mantis. Not every doctor graduated on the honor roll. You know what happens in Mexico? I go in there, if I see doctors and see dentists and everything, they got all their diplomas on the wall. Most of them went to school in the U.S.
Oh,
That
Doug
is
Sir
how
was asking
socialized
about
medicine
drug
is.
testing
You,
earlier.
I don't know. Let's
Let me
see.
go first.
Okay, go first.
So Doug Sir was asking about drug testing. They are testing for everything. Marijuana is illegal here in Tennessee, so they are testing you for marijuana, cocaine, opiates, the whole panel. You can't, if you're on any kind of drugs, they just don't even want you as a patient. So, and they will not take your word for it. You got to pass the test, or else you will not get service. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I know the VA is, I don't know. Yeah, it's free or cheap. Yep. So I don't know. There's some desire to go there, but I don't know. I gotta chase down another doctor now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All options are open. I'll figure out something. I don't know what
I think the VA, my guess would be that the VA is good here because there's the military base right there. You would think they'd have to have decent care, but.
Well, I have a very good friend here. I have a friend. I met him the first day in kindergarten. We went to school all the way through except the year I was in South Dakota. We graduated together in California. And then he went in the Army, I went in the Air Force, and we kind of lost track of each other. And I've been looking for him for years and years. I've been looking for him. And you know, there's that website called Classmates. Well, so I joined Classmates years ago, but don't pay much attention. So I get a notice. This guy, his name's Ernie. Ernie's a classmate. So I go in there and I look, and he's got like a big long paragraph written, everything after high school, and he went in the Army and all this, and he goes, now I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee. Like, what? He's here? He says he works for the sheriff's office. So I called the sheriff's office. I explained who I was. And then the officer that answered the phone says, well, he's standing right here if you want to talk to him. So I talked to him, and he goes, man, you caught me. He goes, today's my last day here. And he was going on to another job, another law enforcement job. But it's really funny. So he's the one always trying to talk me into going to the VA here. So it's a guy I knew all the way back since kindergarten, and we live here in the same town now. And he's really sold on the VA. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Ernie. Kim is 100% right. Try the VA. It will not cost you a cent. Maybe I should. I don't know.
I'm proud of him because when I moved here, he was not going to a doctor, Period. It was not a thing he was willing to do.
I drive
We
to
were gonna
Mexico.
go to Mexico
I
and
drive,
drive for
I drive to
medication.
Mexico. Yep.
And I encouraged him to please do it. And then I was away for a while. And when I came back, he had found this mobile clinic, and he was giving it a try and getting good results. And then he really made great progress with getting his condition in order. So I'm proud of you. I really am. It is not easy. It's frustrating, and it's degrading to have to. It's just awful, And I know that even though you talk negatively about it, that you will make positive choices for yourself. And I see him doing it. So if it sounds like he's not going to take care of himself, he just needs to bitch about it a little bit sometimes and vent, and then he goes and does what needs to be done. And all of them said, well, that's intrusive. It absolutely is intrusive. But if you complain, you are labeled one of those problem people, and I'm already like kind of got that this might be a problem person vibe. So I got to pick a hill to die on, and luckily, since I'm not doing any kind of medications or drugs that are not supposed to be on my chart, I just say okay, and I pee in the cup so that they can get on with the business at hand, because I don't want to argue with
Why
them.
don't you live closer to Mexico? Well, I was working for a defense contractor, put me in Yuma, Arizona for, well, I don't know what, 15 years or something, 13 years, I think. And man, that was really convenient. And I never wanted to go to Mexico until I just had enough of the doctor I had. And I thought, I know people doing this. I'm going to try it by myself. I just went into Mexico. And man, I thought, this is wonderful. I just never quit going.
Yeah, they're nice.
But now I'm a long ways.
But
because
you know what?
I
You
had
didn't
this,
have your blood pressure or your blood sugar under very good control until
well,
they
you know
started
why?
helping you here.
You know why? It's because I came back here and I just started eating like an idiot. And it was what really changed it here was the food. Let's see here. Let's see. I got my glasses in Mexico for a long time. Oh, this is Ari. Bolivian gives me some good. See, you got a company that's taking care of you. That's when I worked for that defense contractor. I had good insurance and good. Yeah, all that stuff was good. So I took advantage of it until I got out to Yuma, and then I just didn't like the doctors I was going to out there. I mean, I got some serious Coke bottle glasses. Yeah, these would be Coke bottle glasses, except I buy the expensive ones. I don't know if I can afford it now.
I usually get polycarbonate lenses
Well,
for in the shop, so if something comes bling, it doesn't break my eyeball.
Me too. These are polycarbonate with a hardened surface. The surface that's not supposed to get damaged, but they're I can't think of the name. What's the good camera? Nikon. They're Nikon lenses, which Nikon lenses, they're like a third of the thickness of the Coke bottle glasses. Because mine are Coke bottle glasses till I get Nikons. Well, the Nikons are expensive, so I don't know what I'm going to do now. Probably have to go back to Coke bottle glasses. Probably go to Mexico.
You so fancy, Ari, with your prescription safety glasses.
Oh man, I get my blood sugar at McDonald's. I bet you do. Glad you went back there. We never would have met. It's good for your health. Why aren't you living close to the doctors you want to see? Yeah. Well, the doctor I really want to see right now is about 250 miles from here. I don't rule it out, but that's a real deterrent, is a 250-mile drive to see the doctor. In fact, she's working for somebody else, and I talked to her, and I said, why don't you come on over here to Clarksville and just open up an office over here? And she goes, there's a lot of veterans there, and there's a need for it, and she seemed almost open to it. So I don't know. I said, you move over here, I'll be your first patient.
All right, so they're talking about glasses, and we're obviously not sponsored by this because it just kind of came out of random.
What the hell is this? Yeah.
Zenni is an online place where you can order glasses. If you go to like Walmart and have their pharmacy do your prescription and then write out your prescription, you can go into Zenni, make an account, fill out your prescription, and then pick out frames and then they have different options and stuff like that. But you can get glasses for okay, so these are prescription
there's
sunglasses
online
for
places.
$50, and they'll deliver them to your home, and sometimes they'll have 2 for 1, and $9 glasses, 75% off, and you get the lenses and stuff like that. Under $50, you can get glasses that don't have the Coke bottle lenses, and they have all different kinds of styles. So,
I want to get back
and
on
I've
cars.
used, I know, but I'm just saying, I've used Zenni, and I was really happy with what I got for the price. So, if you need glasses, you can check that out. Or get your first pair at Walmart and grab your prescription, and then you can get a backup pair from Zenni. Okay,
Okay,
not
thank you.
sponsored. Still not
Ari.
sponsored.
No, they're not. But when I was at the plant, there were a ton of people in red UAW shirts. What is that? What are they? They are trying to unionize, or what's going on? Tell me about this. And let's see. All right, cheap reading glasses makes. Oh, there's so much here I want to talk about all at once. I had Coke bottle glasses until I got cataract surgery. I was IBEW for 35 years. That's electrical workers. The nuclear power plant I was at, lots of IBEW people there. I think I don't want to do something like that online. It's okay, Kim. Useful for mechanical types. In the mess hall and dining facility, the saying was, tables are for glasses, not asses. You ever sit on dining tables? That was a lot floor. Uh, yeah, my glasses, they're pretty wild. I got a strong astigmatism, so it's like, yeah, they're expensive always. Iceman, heading out, everyone.
Thanks
It's been
for being
fun.
here,
Well,
hon.
thank you for being here. Yeah, lots of folks trying to unionize. I don't blame them. I have my qualms with modern unions, but I think it would do them some good. Yeah, unions, there's good and bad. Uh, yep, I've had a lot of talks with people about unions, and there's good and bad. And sometimes there's a little more good.
I'd rather talk about cars, but
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting to me
yeah, no.
that I
I
was
didn't
like
say we
that.
couldn't talk about it. I just mean,
No,
like,
it was just interesting. Oh, I don't want to get into a whole
well,
union
it
discussion.
completely becomes politics, and it's
Yeah,
very complicated.
that's what I'm saying.
And there's a lot of opinions one way or the other about it.
There's good and bad. Um, let's see here. I'm on pension cruise control. What was the the Mustang on the thumbnail. Ah, yes. Where's that
Bring
Mustang?
that back.
Well, is the thumbnail up there? That's not the thumbnail.
That's the one that's on your screen, so you have to bring it back to.
Where did I get that? Where did I get that?
Right. Yeah, I understand. The politics of work or organization, when it brings better working conditions and fair pay and
Kim, I don't know
working
where
conditions,
I snagged that from somewhere and I don't
pretty
remember what it was.
important.
Where did I get that from? Oh. Oh, I know what I can do. No, I can't even get it from here. I don't have it here. Jeez.
People don't realize the value of a good pension. I think most people. Well, if you don't,
It's
a
on
good
my
pension is like
it's on my other
more important than your hourly pay. Yes, you pay into your pension the whole time you work. But
Kim, I don't know where I snagged that from.
I don't know either. Pensions are becoming much more rare in the United States. Most corporations don't offer pensions for regular workers anymore, and there was a lot of, like, I came from Pittsburgh, right, and the unions they made a big thing about pensions and retirements and stuff like that. So everybody paid all their money into their pension plans. Everybody was going to retire good. Everything was good, and then uh, foreign steel and manufacturing put all the mills out of business. They all declared bankruptcy, and all the pension money was gone, and everybody lost all their money, didn't get their retirements. So, yeah, it was a big scam. So people talk about it, it's like, oh, it sounds great, but when somebody's promising that if you just give me a bunch of money every month from now for the next 30 years, that at the end of 30 years you'll get yours back and more. Like,
How do I get
sketchy.
to that? How do I get to that?
I don't know. Center of pupils. They have measuring instructions for center of pupils.
Can you? Can, I'm struggling with this. I don't know how to get to this. Maybe I can do something like this. Well, there it is. How do I? If I click on that, it's going to go to the live.
Yeah, is it on your drive?
No, it's in the computer back there. I have to go run and move files around. Okay, there.
Just talk about the car then.
Yeah, I just can't bring it up. It kind of pisses me off. I can't bring it up. How do I get this over to the? I don't know. Um, where am I? Completely lost my whole thing here. What was the Mustang? That's way up there. Uh, anyway, that red Mustang that I can't find the picture of. I was in Tucson years ago, and that thing was for sale, and I really wanted it. I took pictures of it. My friend Carl in Tucson was there, and then I went back to Yuma, and it's like, man, I got to go down there and buy that thing, and I just never did. I never moved on it, and I should have. But at least I kept the picture, so I put it up tonight just to, just have a red Mustang up there. And then, who was it? Somebody said that Kim won the lottery and bought a Mustang. No. I
I
have
don't even think I would
no
buy
idea.
a
I have
Mustang.
no idea where it's. I really like that was an '05, I think. I really like '05 Mustangs. It was like the first one that came back that really looked like a Mustang, and it looked kind of like a '67 Mustang. I had a '67 red '67 fastback, so I really liked that red Mustang, and man, I should have moved on it, but I didn't.
Every once in a
Where
while,
is that picture?
because there's a lot of young people in the military nearby on base. There's a lot of Mustangs around, and every once in a while you'll see one on Marketplace that's for sale that has a burned up motor, burned up transmission, and they just need to unload it because they're going active and they want very little for it. So we could pick up Mustangs, but it's just like we don't really have a big need for a car like that. Like we could fix it and then, well, we would drive it. Well, we already have cars to drive, so we just have
Mexican
other
Spec
things we
says
have to
it
do.
could have been an '07. It could have been because that was the generation, and I really want to bring that picture up. What did I
Go
do?
grab that picture off your computer before I lose my mind. He's been yelling at the computer all day today. It's been giving
Oh,
him grief.
my computer
It's so much
turned.
grief.
There's something in the background that runs sometimes. Kaspersky can't find it. Windows, what's it called? Windows Defender can't find it.
It's
I,
probably Kaspersky and Windows Defender running in the background.
it's my, it just, whatever it is, just takes over the computer. I put up the Taskmaster. It looks like nothing's running. Can't figure it out. But whatever it is sucking up every bit of power that computer has. And it'll do that for about 20, 25 minutes. And then it's just everything's fine again. But when that happens, I reboot it, and it's real good for a minute or two, and then whatever it is running again. And I'm pretty good with computers, and I can't find it, and it's just wrecks my day when that happens. Okay, you want me to go?
Yeah, go grab it. Take your
Yeah,
jumpy
I'm gonna.
thing.
I gotta eject it, and Kim can keep everybody. You show that Studebaker hot. Okay, yes, you can do that while I'm gone. Um, you know what he's asking for?
The one from
Mexican spec.
Mexican Specs channel. Sure, I'll bring it up. I go all the way up to the top. I gotta scroll. Oh, it's not on the right screen. Let's see. So as far as, oh, there it is right there. As far as money and pensions and stuff go, Social Security pays you a pittance. The cost of living here has doubled in the last 5 years because of economic conditions that are completely within the control of the government. The inflation here is horrible, and we are going broke, and there is nothing that we can do about it. By the time we are dead, we will have nothing. So that's just the way she goes. You know what I mean? Like I sold one of my cars so we could do some maintenance on the buildings here, and if I had anything else that was worth anything, I'd be selling it because we could really use the money for some other things that we want to do around here. And I used to have savings, and I worked hard to try and get a retirement, but it is nothing. It's meaningless, and at the rate that the economy is inflating, our money is becoming devalued. We're broke, we're poor, and we're rocking it. We got our junk to play with, and we're just going to do it until the money runs out, because there's no getting ahead of it. We're not getting any younger, or he's completely retired, and I'm probably not going back into a career. I don't think we're ever going to become big rich YouTubers. I mean, maybe, but like I don't know who would want us to like sell their product, like Mexican Spec. If you start really rocking it, Mexican Spec, we'll do advertising for you. You can commission us, but like really, like we know that like we're not going to make money here on YouTube. We enjoy the community though, which makes it definitely worth it. I was giving my smartphone the finger yesterday, and it flipped my wife out. Oh yeah, it pisses him off so bad. I'm really glad that Steve Maggs does not have to lose everything that he's worked his whole life for due to illness. I really am. So the thing about, oh, I've wrecked it. Companies inflating prices is corporations in this country are, if they're on the stock market, they're expected to make money, and that's what they're going to do. But the government is printing money. So when you print more and more and more and more money, every individual money is worth less in comparison. If everybody is making more money, then the cost of all the goods goes up because there's more competition for those goods. But if you're in a situation where you're not going to get more money every year or every month, and the cost is going up like that, you're screwed. And so I'm screwed. I mean, if you look at the news, or there's a lot of people who are becoming homeless because the cost of housing has inflated so great. And luckily, we're not in that position. Hopefully, we won't be.
Okay, I snagged it. Now you need to.
50K into I'm glad.
Look at that. Look at that. $221,000.
Steve is going to be
We're bumping up on $250,000 for him.
protected from impoverishment, from being
Sick, from having
the medical system.
It's okay. This is that Mustang.
There you
Okay,
go.
I have questions. The Mexican Spec's probably the one that knows how to do this. Something's missing on the front of that car. Some kind of bumper or rubber or something's missing down there.
Oh, and the lower valence.
I don't know what that is. So he said the hood scoop looked like an '07, but I don't even see a hood scoop. Am I missing something? But anyway, I don't know what was missing up there. I just liked that car. The stance was right. The car was right. It wasn't all messed up. Um, at the time, the price was right. Um, so I don't know what year it is. I thought it was an '05, but I really don't remember. It's been a while. But I was living in Yuma then. That's in Tucson, which is about 250 miles away. And I used to go over there to see my friend Carl. And I was over there, and one of the things, we're a couple of car guys. Let's go out and look at some used cars. And this was just a used car lot. And I saw that Mustang, and I said, "Hey, let's go in there." And we pulled in there, and we looked at it, and they were closed. And it's like, man, it's probably a Sunday or something. So then I just never went back, and I should have. Yeah, black wheels. I don't know. I just liked it. It just all looked great. And I don't know what it was. I don't think it was a six-cylinder car. It could have been. I don't know. I just assumed it probably had a V8 in it. I don't know what they had in them, like a 4.6 or something. What'd they have in '05? I don't know. Uh, Two round lights at the outer edges of the grill missing. Oh no, those were some of them had those. Man, when the '05s came out, I had a picture one that had the two little lights, the round lights on the outside of the grill, and I photoshopped it, pulled the horse off, and I put the two round lights right in the center, like the '67 Shelby's did, and I had that picture on my desktop for a long time, and it was a red '05, and that I did that in '05. It was pretty cool. It would have the lights. Oh, the V8s had the lights in the grill. Okay, so I guess I'd have to pull the engine out, put an old FE engine in it or something. I don't know.
Ari made a comment about the price of housing here. It is considerably less than it is out there, but it ain't cheap.
Oh, it's going up like crazy.
It has doubled in the last 5 years. So, although the payment hasn't doubled, the taxes have doubled.
Yeah, my taxes just doubled.
5 years.
Okay, so let's get back to. I know we want to talk about all this political crap, which I hate. I just get mad when
it's
I think
what
about
we
it.
face every day.
But I just get
rough.
mad when I think about it. I don't want to be mad. So let's see here. This is Johnny. See, I still have my '05 since news. Okay, black GT with a manual. Weren't the lights
Have you seen any other comments from Johnny?
right there?
Welcome to the stream, Johnny.
Oh, I don't know. I was back there.
I think that's the first comment I saw.
Oh yeah, that's the next. I think. Okay, sorry I missed you. Hi. Weren't the lights on the rock catcher lower balance or valence on the older Stangs? I don't know. I looked at that and I thought I could probably put some lights down there, just fill that in. I don't know. And of course, in Arizona, just like here, there's no front license plate. Like the cloth too, but ordered the leather. Oh, I love leather interiors. But that car just looked so good. I wanted it. And the V8 would be nice, but I bet the 6 would probably get good mileage. I drove a 6-cylinder Mustang that was like what was that thing? Probably a 10. And man, it was quick up to about 95 miles an hour, and it just fall on its ass.
Yeah, but does it have a donut mode?
Yeah, like the new Chrysler. So
I love ripping on the new Chrysler's donut mode. I just love hacking on it.
What, Mexican Spec doesn't like the wheels on that thing? I don't know. I kind of liked them, but they were just black.
Are they steel? I don't
Yeah,
know.
they were black steel wheels, I think.
Yeah.
About a dark red 2005.
In resale red.
Stick shift cloth seats and 5-spoke wheels. It was a great car. Oh, it might be the same wheels that he's talking about. I don't know. Mexico's stick shift had cloth interior with 5-spoke. The automatic had leather, and the new design wheels they had. No mixing here. Okay. Yeah, Mexico's kind of things are different, but same cars, but they do it differently. Those rims might be those Pep Boys NASCAR looking things. I don't know. That car, that was probably, it's quite a few years ago. I just saw it and it looked so good and I wanted it. What is this buff? You should have not put a parachute on the 6 cylinder. You know what it was? It was a rental, and I got it up in like Northern California somewhere because I drove a truck up there. Had to get back. Company rented me a car, and I got a Mustang, and it was a V6 Mustang, and I came back, and I ended up going down through the LA area and all the way down to San Diego, or almost to San Diego, and I came across on Interstate 8 to Yuma, and on Interstate 8 it was like probably 2 or 3 in the morning. Big long straight stretch, nobody around, couldn't see any lights anywhere, and I stuck my foot in it. And it got right up to probably 95, 100. But by the time I got to 100, between 95 and 100, it was not picking up speed anymore. It's slow up to 100. And I don't know, I just got out of it after that. But what I learned was, in the speeds I drive at, like, passing somebody on a 2-lane road or something, it would have done fine. Uh, but it was a V6, whatever that V6 was. Yeah, it's a rental car.
Yeah, there's really nowhere around here where you drive more than 80 miles an hour.
I don't do that anymore. But still, if you have a car like that, you probably want the V8
Oh,
in
yeah.
it. But I don't know. I see Mustangs around here like those years for sale. They're not real expensive, and if they have damage on them, I'm going to really look at them because that's what I need, something that's not going to be top dollar, but it's still going to be a good car. Yeah, but what goes in that spot on the bumper? I don't know. Something went there that was gone, and I didn't even think of that. Without the lights, I had no idea that meant it was a 6-cylinder. Interesting. I did like the GT with the cloth because it had little ponies on the fabric. Yeah, I don't really like. Oh, tow hooks. I don't really like cloth interiors, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. Tow hooks.
Yeah,
I'm
some
sure
kind of
there's a
plastic
lower
insert.
grill.
I'll find
That's-
the plastic insert.
Oh, you can find that. No kidding. Or you got all these Pinto wagons on the
Doing
screen.
my job.
Well, I didn't even think of that. So, anyway, that was our thumbnail tonight. We're going to talk about used car lots, but, we talk about other stuff.
All right, let's find.
Oh, there's the one with the lights. They're bigger lights than what I remember.
All right.
So the 05. I don't want the aftermarket stuff. Something was there. Yeah, I bet there was some kind of a plastic black thing in there.
This one here, the upper left, maybe.
I don't know. That looks like some aftermarket thing that you put in there.
Well, that's what they're going to show because the
Well,
people who are trying to sell it are going to come up.
Well, just
first.
look at an 05 Mustang, see what it looks like. Oh, Mexican Spec said it was at the top, but we'll try something else. Just forget the front bumper part of it, because that's going to be all the aftermarket shit. Just try an 05 Mustang without bumper. None of that stuff. Yeah. Let's see what they look like. So what was in there? Something. It wasn't like, see, this one has something missing. It was just something dark in there, like a grill or something. I don't know.
It's just a little grill.
It was just missing.
See, now they're all going to be performance versions with fancy stuff. So.
Black plastic is the scourge of everything automotive.
Mm-hmm. Just cheap ass black plastic garbage stuck in there.
See, that looks good with that red one there with the lights. That's the one that on my desktop back in 05, I took the horse out. I photoshopped it, took the horse out, and I put those lights real close together in the middle, and it kind of looked like the '67 Shelby where they did that. Oh, so you ordered it? Let's see here. Johnny C said he. Someone news article on wait for delivery. Some kid will eventually score when I sell. Yeah, row of the 50 million add-ons. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I would have added on that car is down there where that grill is supposed to be. I would have put something there. Probably some lights, or maybe I just would have painted it black in there and left it alone. That's probably the thing to do. Just paint that red stuff back there black and it just disappear. But I just thought that was a nice looking car. The other thing, the other accessory I like on those cars is back where those windows are, they make a scoop that kind of looks like the Shelby's. And I saw another one in Yuma that I almost bought. It had a Coyote engine in it. Man, I went back the next day and I wanted that car. It was gone. One day, that car disappeared. That didn't last long.
Dang.
Well, it was at the Dodge dealer, and I had my car in there getting a new transmission in it because it was under warranty. They put a new transmission in it, and that day I saw that car, and then I thought, man, I think I'm gonna go get it. And I went back and where's that red Mustang? Yeah, it's gone. We sold it, so that didn't last long. Yeah, I don't remember what year that one was. When did the Coyote engine come out? Like 11 or something? 12, I don't know. Yeah, missed it. You know, that's the thing with used cars. Some of them will sit there forever, but some of them, the good ones that you want, man, they get gone quickly. So the '05 was Gen 5, is that right? That's I'm reading that on your screen. Does anybody know when that the Coyote engine came out? I test drove a new car. Carl talked me into test driving a new one in Tucson one night, and it had a Coyote in it. And he got really mad at me because I didn't jump on it and leave my foot to the floor like for several blocks. But it was at night, and it was like kind of misty rain, and there was a lot of traffic, and I'm in a city, and there's cops. You know, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. He got really mad at me for test driving a car and not. Yeah, 2011. Okay, I think that one I looked at in Yuma was 2011. I think. I think it was a 2011. It was red. Man, I liked that car. That was another one. Yeah, and I missed it. Lasted on a used car lot one day. I don't think they understood what the Coyote engine was. I don't think because the price wasn't high enough. And man, I want that thing. And I think it went real quick because somebody figured out what it was and snapped it up. And I think that's really unusual for a used car lot to not understand what they have. 1993 Grand Cherokee 5-speed trucks. No, I'm not. What's the one that Tony? Oh, Tony isn't the Grand Cherokee. He has the XJs. I guess he's been doing okay with that.
Yeah, Dr. Art put a fuel and timing tune on it, and it really picked up.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Yeah,
I had a Comanche truck one year.
is that what the XJs are? Is Comanches? I don't know. The ones that Uncle Tony has, he has like.
I think mine was like an 87 or an 89. I don't know if that's the same as a 93.
Yeah, what are the ones that Tony has? They're like 97s, 96s, 7s, 8s, something like that. He really likes those things. He was all nothing but Mopar, and then he started collecting these Jeeps. He's got all these Jeeps.
Well, Jeeps are Mopar. Heck,
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I mean Mopar like
so
old
he's in
Mopar.
the Cherokees, and they have the 4-liter engines, but the Grand Cherokee has the Magnum Mopar engine in it. So
282 were made. Hunter Green, Laredo. Well, it's calmed down in here. Maybe we should take that as a hint and move on. Come back next week.
yeah, we'll
Anybody
get it out
else?
on
Anybody?
Monday.
Anybody else got anything? Or when you get off here, if you're not sick of me, you can go watch the video that I put up. Um,
And I put up 3
Yeah.
in the last 3 days.
So I put up a video on cutting sheet metal, if any of you are interested in that. Hey, I haven't seen Danny Boyd here. Has he been here tonight?
I must have taken the night off.
I put that video up for because he asked for it, and I thought it was a good idea, so I did that. Size correction of all colors, 4.0 5-speed manual, 4x4. I'm going to see if it's worth anything. Okay. Yeah, so it's about cutting sheet metal all different ways with different kinds of snips and different kinds of cutters and deburring and so forth. I don't know how interesting that is, but
I think it's a good beginner's kind of walk around, and I think the cutting techniques that you mentioned were very good.
Look at that.
Useful.
Harry put up a link to the sheet metal video.
Thanks,
and
Harry.
that is the follow-up from the welder video that Lester LeSaber's talking about.
What was the other video we wanted to make next? There was another one.
Well, I said we might do the floor on the, because there's a hole in the floor of the Valiant.
Oh,
and I've already cut that piece out like a long time ago, and that piece is sitting there. And the floors are really good. They're still got yellow paint. I mean, they're perfect except one spot. So we got to trace that out, cut that spot out, and just tack it in there and show us doing it, and then paint the underside with something that won't rust, and paint the inside the same color. I have matching paint, and we can paint the floor, and it'll look just like the rest of it. Harry is much better moderator than I am. He has more experience.
You're both great. Thank you for being here. We enjoy your company as
Look at
much
that.
as appreciate you doing moderator stuff.
He also put up your video. You're present more than I could say most of the time. Hey, Ari, you gonna be able to do an After the Tony show this coming week? Not that I need to pin you down on that. I'm just wondering if you have plans yet. Tony wanted me to block his brother on his channel. I just couldn't do it. He did it himself.
For 86,000 seconds?
His brother, why did he take his brother off? Oh, that's pretty funny. Tony's brother was a police officer in Chicago forever, and then he went to, he got a job doing something with where he parks like at construction areas in a car that looks like a police car with little lights on it. And then he took that car and he sold it to Mopar Al. So Mopar Al drives around that white Charger with the push bar and everything on it. Looks like a police car because it was a police car. So that's the story behind that. So I didn't know he blocked his brother.
That's one day. 86,000 seconds.
Instagram for the green truck.
Math.
You better do it. That's it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I hope you're there because I'll stick around for the After the Tony show.
I hope you're feeling better soon, Ari.
Yeah, man, the Midwest knocked the crap out of you, huh? So, no blood on your hands.
Make Tony do it.
I learned your second cut. Okay, the cut videos. I used a couple pieces of aluminum, and I had one piece of steel there. I have a lot of aluminum around, big rolls of aluminum for building airplanes, and I still want to build an aluminum car. So I'm going to work with aluminum a lot, but some of it, you cut aluminum, cut steel. Steel's a little tougher to cut, but still, same thing. Feeling okay now, but this past week was tough. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that Sunday was at least a couple of days back. Okay, I think we're going to call it quits. You good with that, Kim? Is everybody else good with that?
Yeah.
Been down here in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, if Ari's doing the After the Tony show, we will be back in a week on
Tuesday.
on Tuesday night. My voice is starting to feel it. Man, my son came down. Dang, how do you pronounce that? Dang. How do you pronounce that, Kim?
I don't know.
His
Dang.
platelets were so low, he almost had to go into the hospital. See, that's a thing I always heard from people in the Philippines. Dang.
That'd kick your butt. I'm glad he's recovered.
Yep.
Everyone, take care of yourselves and your family. Go work on your projects. They won't fix themselves. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Or Thank you for just hanging out.
She always tells me that too. Go work on your project.
Go work on your project. All right, and check your fluids, as Ari would normally say. And
There's Danny Boyd. Danny Boyd.
good night, Danny.
I just did that video because your request. So there's a video up there that you requested. Okay, take care, everybody.